Hey everybody, welcome to What Drives Us, episode 366, recorded on May 13th, 2020. Yeah, 366, holy smokes. I am your host this week, and we are about to embark on a journey of advanced technology, mobility, sustainable energy. But fortunately, look at all of these people I have on the journey with me. It's almost like a fellowship, if you will. Fellowship of the...
I don't want to walk to Mordor.
One does not walk into Mordor.
Well,
Okay.
that's
Journey on foot is Mordor.
Homes, right?
I know, and it turns out like at the end, didn't they just like walk into Mordor?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
One simply does walk into Mordor.
Yeah, one does.
One actually does.
In your face. Okay, so my co-host and wingman on the show is our friend, Mr. Russell Frost.
Greetings from the bottom left corner of America, beautiful San Diego, where it was a lovely 72 degrees today and mostly sunny. And my sympathy for those of you that aren't enjoying that lovely, lovely weather. Real quickly before we go on, you can still buy Michael Mannering's record, Small Moments. Go to any place but CD Baby, or you can go to CD Baby 2 and buy Michael Mannering Small Moments CD. Thank you very much. I shouldn't say CD, I should say collection of music, because you don't get a CD, it's digital.
Album.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
Virtual
Yeah, you just
CD.
call it. Yeah.
A virtual CD.
Same difference.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you for listening.
All right. Hey, I want to take a real quick moment. If this is the first time you're ever watching the show on YouTube, go ahead and like the show and subscribe to the channel. Just go ahead and subscribe up front. And if you end up not liking the show, you can unsubscribe later. I'm hoping they forget. But yeah, so go ahead and do that up front.
Yeah, so
All
if
right?
you see the subscribe button is red, turn it gray.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I see a red button and I want to paint it gray. Okay.
Oh, look, make that kitty happy.
Yeah.
Click on the button.
Make it happy.
Jeez. So I'm going to move on to the founder of the Waterloo Region Voltec Group EV Association, Chevy Volt and Tesla driver, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Great White North, and it's a lot less white today, which is good.
Hey, no snow.
The snow is long gone. Actually, we had a snowstorm just the other day, and it just didn't stick, so that was good. And tomorrow's supposed to be nicer the day after that, so looking better as well. So we're hopefully into the clear with the good weather going forward.
All right. That's always a good thing. And here in Chicagoland area, of course, we've been hunkered down for the last 6 months and then told we had to hunker down longer. And everyone's like, damn it. Just getting out of cabin fever. All right, so moving on to our friend who has his own YouTube channel, Burning Up Drag Scripts in Virginia in ludicrous mode, Mr. Casey Green.
Hello, everybody. I've just got a video uploaded about the latest firmware update that I've received, and there's another one roaming the country, so hopefully I'll have another one soon.
All right. Kick it over to Boulder, Colorado, the owner of Boulder Hybrids. He tears down, repairs, and hopefully rebuilds hybrids. He is Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey, good to be back. And I won't say that it's been nice here, because it has been. No need to rub it in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go rob a bag tonight.
Yeah, I think you should.
Are you going to rob a stagecoach?
Yes, a stagecoach.
The minute you're done.
Fargo.
You're going to rob your own cash register. It's a fantasy kind of thing, but we're not going to go in. It's a whole different show. Instead, certainly not least, she is writer, director, a woman of many trades, and most importantly, a cat mother. She is Georgia McKenzie.
Hey, y'all. And it was 57 degrees here and not very sunny, but still not too bad. So
Wow, 57 seems kind of chilly for your area.
I keep saying, but it's May, and May doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
Northern California.
Shut your face,
Ah.
Russell.
It may be sunny, it may be snowy, it may be cold, it may be warm. That is
It's
May.
It is May. Yes. Yeah, we have 4 seasons in Chicago, and they're all in May. Yes. So I want to go ahead and kick things off with our first story.
Oh.
And no. Kick the show off, not kick you off.
I was going to say, I mean, geez, I didn't even said anything really.
Yet. So everyone, drinks in hand, get ready to drink. I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Russell Frost for 10 minutes. Stopwatch.
Coffee.
We are limiting this story to 10 minutes, and I think about 4.5 minutes in, you'll understand why. So, Russell, go.
I think about 30 seconds in, you're going to wonder why. You're going to know why. Can't really hear that. So I'll hold this up just to verify that we're still on target here. Look, there's this guy, and millions of people care about what he says. Some of them care about what he says because they believe in him. Some of them care about what he says because they make money from him. Some of them care about what he says because he controls their financial future. Some are just trolls and just love shit stirrers. And Elon Musk stirred some major shit in the last week. Suffice to say, in addition to his what do we say? Do we call Elon a COVIDiot? Yes, we do. In addition to his COVID virus denial, comes a series of tweets where complaining about how the government is fascist and horrible, and because they won't let him open his factory. The problem was, of course, that they would let him open his factory, just not when he wanted it to open. So what did Elon do? He opened his factory anyway. 1 week earlier than Alameda County had asked. He didn't submit a plan that they had asked for. He did, and of course, a judge early this morning, late last night, signed off. Tesla's now legal. They can now do what they're supposed to do, even though for 2 days he operated in complete contempt of the law. I think that's horrible. I think it's abusive, and that's all I have to say about that. There's 2 minutes gone, folks. Okay, tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think that we all need to understand one simple thing. The people who are wealthy believe they have enough money that even if they get sick, they're going to be fine. They're going to have the care they need. They won't suffer as we suffer. Russell, you've seen me on Twitter. We don't have to get into it. But basically, my status is that they don't think of us as human beings that actually will suffer and need to be cared for. And that, frankly, it makes much better long-term capitalistic sense to just shut the fuck up, shut the fuck down, pay your damn employees, fire a bunch of executives if you have to, and just eat the cost and start up later on, because without the consumers, you're not going to make any money anyway. And your best customers are usually your closest people, which are your employees. If noted anti-Semite Henry Ford could understand that a well-paid employee has the potential to be turned into a customer, why do American capitalists fail and suck so hard at capitalism? It's not the capitalism that's the problem. It's all the people doing it. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, this happened in Canada, in Calgary. Did you hear about this church that had a birthday celebration?
Yep.
They did social distancing. They had a church that seated 200 people. And there were fewer than 50 people at the event. In fact, there were only 49 people social distancing at a church with a capacity of 200.
But what were they doing, Tony?
This was it a birthday party?
It was a choir practice, I believe.
Oh, a choir practice. Okay.
So guess
Yeah.
what? They were belting out the tunes. They were breathing heavy, and they were breathing out heavy. So you've got a problem that if you set up 6 feet apart, guess what? You're blowing these particles into the air under pressure. You're taking in a lot more fast air intake because you're trying to refill your lungs so you can continue singing. And it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. They should have abided by just stay home. Don't practice singing in a group of 50 people. It makes no sense to do so.
24 infected.
Environment. I don't
24
understand.
infected, 2 died.
Yep. It's a high price to pay for practice singing.
Yeah, and
but
Georgia,
what
yeah, you're right. In closed environment, and where else is there an enclosed environment? Pretty much every workplace.
Inside, yeah. What I will say, and I'm not condoning what Elon Musk has done, but what I will say is some part of the other story is that he was trying to deal with the county. The county had not responded to him in 3 days as he was attempting to open up the plant, and he lost his mind. He did. He went a little crazy and started typing things about moving the headquarters and shutting down some production. And after that, of course, other officials caught wind of it or realized what was going on and started to intervene. So the governor of California, he jumped on Twitter. In fact, during one of his press conferences during the week, he talked about how that the county and Tesla should be able to come up with a solution, that he was happy to help where he can. He believes that Tesla is an innovative company that they certainly would like to stay in California. And then the mayors of Palo Alto, the mayor of Fremont, they're all jumping in on this as well, trying to smooth things over, trying to find some sort of a mutual work together to come up with the results that everyone needs. Again, I don't atone for him actually pulling this, but he started to scream and stamp his feet and use his social media presence to get the word out that he feels they were being mistreated.
But he's just a rich crybaby.
A rich, powerful crybaby.
Yeah,
And that's the problem.
It's not like he's making ventilators or, masks for society. He's making cars, which, not everybody needs a new Tesla.
Well,
Some people might need a car to get to work.
You have to look at like Detroit's been opened up. They're about to open, and guess what? The COVID in Detroit is much higher than what's going on in California.
Mm-hmm.
So why are different parts of the country? I know why different parts of the country. It's different states. It's what they're planning on doing. It's why we've got barbershops opened in Georgia. Some things should not be happening. And you know what? This may all fall back on Elon too. It may come back that, hey, there's an outbreak at the plant. He's going to look like an idiot. Mm-hmm. If that happens, he could look like a murderer. It could look that bad. You look at what happened at some of the other factories, although it was before there was any precautions, like the meat plants. That's absolutely crazy what's been going on at some of those people that work shoulder to shoulder. All right, I'll shut up.
2 minutes.
So I did not appreciate his lifting up of quacks and crackpot theories and conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. I also didn't appreciate the 2 government officials that were tweeting at him in an unprofessional manner for government officials. I did enjoy their opening plan. It looked well thought out, and since it was mostly lifted from China, it seems okay. But again, I'm not an epidemiologist. So that's what I got.
So did anyone see, this is apparently during the call, so you guys listened to the call, you heard this, he was calling the government fascist when he was saying, and all of this stuff. And I have a minute and 10 seconds to say, he said, and I'm trying to find the exact phrasing right now, but basically what he said was, if people want to stay home, they should be able to stay home of their own. Right here. If someone wants to stay in their house, that's great, and they should be able to. But to say they cannot leave their house and that they will be arrested to do so, that's fascist. That's not democratic. This is not freedom. Give people back their goddamn freedom. What did the HR representative of Tesla say about employees who choose to stay in their house?
They can stay
You
in their
will be
house
fired and you
forever.
will not get unemployment.
Bingo.
So, yeah. And we're at 9 minutes and 37.
So government can't tell people what to do, but a corporation can.
Let's be honest. It's freedom for the wealthy and fascism for the rest of us.
All right.
Well, I think we're out of time, so everybody will have to draw their own conclusions.
See our discussion on the Tesla Life.
There you go. So head over to the Tesla Life and watch that show, because I know they talked about it there. And there'll be a link in the upper, upper right corner.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tony.
Yep. Casey, from what I understand, Lexus has made an announcement.
Yes. So, how would you like a 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty on your battery on your new Lexus UX 300e?
Well, I don't even drive kilometers, so that would last me
That's great. Where can we buy it?
In China.
In China.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yes.
For now. Hopefully, for now.
Hopefully, yeah. But it shows that they are confident in their current battery tech, and I was impressed to see that they call it air cooled, but when you hear air cooled, you think Volkswagen, you think like Volkswagen Bug, and you think the Nissan Leaf. And when I looked at the diagram of their battery, it's got a big squirrel cage fan in it, so I think that they'll be fine. I mean, my Prius had a squirrel cage fan in it, and I only heard the thing come on 5 times in the lifetime of the car.
But granted,
Toyota
the Prius does not
over-engineer
use
the
the
battery.
fan as much, right?
Right.
The Prius would not, because of the smaller battery.
Right. But I will say, Toyota does over-engineer their batteries, and they're really good engineers.
Yeah.
Like, it's very rare for a Prius battery to fail within 10 or even 12 years.
Yeah.
So
and they're conservative in their accounting as well. I don't imagine they'd want to come out. Nissan
us have been around forever. Remember when the Prius came out, we said, "Oh, when the battery dies, it's 10 grand. I don't want to buy that car because the battery's going to die. It's going to cost 10 grand."
Now it costs $1,000 at the most.
Well, a little more than that for a good one. But anyway, that's going to really help consumers adopt, Lexus vehicles, and hopefully any Toyota will have that warranty. Because and they don't just warranty it; they warranty it to hold a 70% state of charge.
Yes, the capacity warranties are rare. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Nissan has a warranty on their Leaf batteries, but good luck collecting on that warranty.
It's got to be a full moon. You got to be pointed north.
Oh, and they say, "Oh, well, that doesn't apply to your car."
So your car is normal wear and tear.
Yeah.
So all in, this is 10 years, 1 million kilometers, which is approximately 621,500 miles.
Can you say great Uber car?
Yes.
Yeah, and capacity not to drop more than 30% over 10 years.
Range capacity, yeah.
Range capacity, yeah.
And it's a fantastic car.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And currently it's only a compliance car, really.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like Casey said, it's going to launch in China. The hope is that they will bring it to more markets.
Yeah, and it's not a cheesy compliance car either. It's got a 54.3 kilowatt hour battery, and it can fast charge at 50 kilowatts. So they are trying, and if this goes well, hopefully we see Toyota drop the fuel cells in the U.S. and North America, and we see them go EV, because they are going to make bank if they do this.
Yes.
Well,
God, how many times have we said that?
If they've done all this on their own, they could put that platform into other vehicles all over the world, not just China.
Mm-hmm.
And really importantly, it's all the same company. It's not like that shitty RAV4 EV that they partnered with Tesla that anybody who got one is regretting it right now because there's no
or Ford
support.
with Magna, or any of these like out of house.
I don't know if they would
Out-of-house
regret it
complaints.
at this point, Paul. They've been around for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
The customers regret it.
Well, when the customer, like, how old are they? What, 10 years now?
Yeah.
12, 14 they were out, but
Yeah, I think a customer might be all right with it at this point not working.
yeah, they haven't been working for a few years now.
Okay.
They're fine with it now because they got rid of it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But at the time, they were-
that's awesome. A 1 million kilometer warranty. That's putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that when I thought I misread it. I literally misread. I had to go back and count the zeros. 1 million kilometers, 621,000 miles.
Yep.
It's like, holy crap, how many people normally keep a car for 621,000 miles?
Of course, it's a proprietary tire size that costs like $1,800 per tire.
And
There's something in there.
And it's got some other cool specs too. It's got 249 miles of range on the Nidec, and we've already talked about the battery size, 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, and a top speed of 100 miles per hour, which is pretty far up there for a Toyota EV because they tend to limit them right at 100 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's front wheel drive, and it's got 150 kilowatts power output, and 300 newton meters of torque. So, and they didn't, even though they kind of capped the fast charge capability at 50, it does have a 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger. So if you get home at night, plug in at any time of the night, and you wake up early, it's still ready to go.
Yeah.
No, I think that's going to be a great car for like Uber, Lyft, taxi cabs, people who drive a ton of miles.
Yeah.
If they'll offer the warranty for commercial use.
True. Some of them will turn off.
Some will say.
warranty.
What's
personal use.
the panel think about its chances of leaving China and getting to other places?
If they can make some money, they'll bring it out.
Yeah.
I would
Gas
love to,
goes up
because
again.
Fleet car. This
Yeah.
would
99
be
cents
an
gas is
executive
gonna be a
fleet
while.
car we have.
I would consider this a beta test.
Yes.
Really?
maybe. Yeah.
Is
I
it a
would-
beta
I'd
test
hate-
or is it just pure compliance play?
Well, maybe a compliance beta. Because I mean, they're using a model that's the UX 300 is something we already have here in the US.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's a crazy off something we've never seen before. I mean, they could drop this on the streets of anywhere US and it would fit right in.
Yeah.
You just have to bring them over. I just hate to think that Toyota and Lexus is going to do that thing where they get so close to deploying something that we think would be so successful and then pull away.
They've done it to us before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell, and certainly when they
one
bring it
thing
to the
that
US.
will help if we were all excited about the RAV4 Prime before the virus hit and gas dropped to nothing, but if sales of the RAV4 Prime are good, they might say, hey, now we can get a full EV out there to the American consumer.
Yeah, it'd be best for them to take advantage of these full tax credits while they're available. And the easiest way to do that is with a real full-fledged, honest-to-goodness EV, like we tried, rather than, we just met the minimums.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough sell for consumers because, A, consumers aren't going to be buying new cars of any kind in the next few months.
Especially luxury or premium.
And B, with half the country has $1 a gallon gas, they're not going to be considering efficiency in the environment. So
Yeah, I think the big thing that we're not talking about here in the U.S. and Paul just, I mean, that gas is going to go up a little bit, but he's right. There's still, the gas prices are stupid low, and we have to look at an economy that is potentially cratering in the next 60 days.
Yep.
So, who's going to be buying any electric car that costs $30,000 or more? Market's probably going to shrink quite a bit, rather than the extra reach.
there's
The aspiration
Elon,
market.
Jeff Bezos, 2 or 3 other guys can afford it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. That small group of very wealthy people, they've already got that stuff. They don't care. So again, I love it that these things are coming to market, but wow, this year, this is tough. This is really, really going to test.
I did hear
lot
a
of
rumor
companies.
somewhere that they might reinstitute like a cash for clunkers for people to get rid of
they'll
their
do it.
I
beepers.
don't know. Yeah, they've been
incentivize.
talking
Still
about
a
that,
might.
but-
It depends on how bad things get. I mean, a lot of people are going to discover that trickle down economics does not actually work.
Again.
What? Are you sure?
Well, it's just
It's
actually
been working
something.
so great for
I
the
don't.
last
Yeah,
40
I don't know. They
years.
keep selling it, and they keep buying it. So
There's a bunch of people that keep buying it, and it's just
You have to clap harder.
If we get the cash for clunkers, I don't think it'll happen under this EPA.
no.
I mean, they just got sued again for taking out protection for drinking water again.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously the big factor in a lot of things is the election in November for the United States. That doesn't affect Mark in Canada very much at all. So,
Except
and
that
that-
they like to have nice neighbors.
Mark is
Yeah, well,
basically
yeah.
going to figure
Other
out
than-
if he has
yeah.
to man the barricades to keep the hordes from
Of Americans out.
Yeah.
Keep the lunacy out.
How bad do you think people are going to get caught with their pants down again this time with the low gas price suddenly inverting to high gas price while they've got big fuel sucking pigs of
Well,
cars?
hopefully no one's like running out and buying fuel sucking pigs right now, but
Yeah.
I mean, they might be.
If we weren't facing a depression, I would say that that's a huge risk, Casey, because they're all, I mean, I've already seen all the Hummers and all the big, huge things that had disappeared
Yeah.
back
Like
on
holding
the
out
streets,
storage.
man.
So,
Rolling.
did they just garage them for a couple years?
But if people fall for this, like the auto companies are saying, 84 months financing, 0%, no payment for 6 months. If you get snookered into walking in and buying a Suburban, you're screwed like 6 months from now when you got to start making payments.
Yeah.
And gas starts going up.
And so what does that mean? The car industry collects some money this summer and then goes out of business in December
Good.
as people are defaulting on their Suburbans and their Denalis and their, whatever.
Hummers.
Did any of those proposals
I
that
feel like we're repeating 2007-8.
we are? We totally are.
Yes,
Yeah.
except worse.
In 1918.
Yes.
So
Hey, welcome to America. I'm
The-
sorry, I shouldn't say that. Welcome to the United States. I didn't want to offend Mark.
we just keep watching over the fence to see what's going on.
I'm going to build that fence higher.
Oh,
the-
shit.
Build a wall.
proposals that give people mortgage holidays. They were also talking about doing car payment holidays. Do you think that how likely is any of that to come into play with this?
I've been trying to work. I have a friend who works with our local House rep, in the sense that she's interviewed him and talked about this. And we brought this up several times, and we cannot get a straight answer. I have talked with our local city council on that and tried to put a letter in support of that. I know LA is managing to get a little bit more progress towards that moratorium. As a person who's worked in local government for a long time, I have told people your best efforts are to be spent with your city council and to try and get that started as a grassroots level first before ever thinking it's going to go even to your full state, much less the House and Senate on a nationwide level. And I mean, the truth is we don't hold the Senate. And even if we did and we still had the arcane 60 vote rule to meet a threshold of passing, it's not going to pass. It doesn't matter if it passes the House. It's not getting onto the floor even of the Senate for a vote. Getting people to understand that passing the House means good job, it's going nowhere because it cannot come up for a vote without the majority leader allowing it to be scheduled. It's a different process in the House versus the Senate. So start with your city council, start petitioning, write reasons why. And there are valid reasons why some people might want to have an opt-out for individual homeowners who might only be renting a room or an apartment over their heads in their house. But that's why you should have also a mortgage moratorium. But one of the things I thought was interesting was big companies who are just like, hey, we're not going to be paying rent for this month or so because we're not open. And it's like, dude, we can do that. I can just be like casually like, I mean, my rental company in response to the crisis did the best thing, and they shut down. They just basically sent me a PayPal bill just in case I couldn't pay. Now you can pay online. And I was like, that's cool. So we don't know what we're going to do, and we'll see what happens with that. And if people have that money in reserve, then probably we'll see that money put back into the economy. So we can buy the Lexus, or we can buy, a new EV. We can take advantage of a cash for clunkers. Like I said, we do stupid capitalism here. Yeah. But until somebody says, yeah, no, they're not going to buy.
If you do find yourself,
somebody's going to buy a Hummer, honestly. But
if you do find yourself in
the EV Hummer.
If you do find yourself in need of sudden need of a good used car, look at the Chevy Spark EV. Look at the Nissan Leaf. Make sure it's got the Lizard battery. If you have something else that can work and it's just your commuter car. And then Mark and I were talking in the last show. We found some Teslas for like 20-30 grand. They're older, but they have much more range. So I mean, you don't have to get the new car, but this if it ever comes here, this would be great if they price it right.
And make sure you look at boulderh.com, where you can find a list of really good, maintained, and lightly used alternative fuel vehicles.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. Hey, got one last thing before we move on. I want to share this with everyone, since we were talking about. This is one of my favorites right here. Absolutely.
Is that a Nissan Leaf on fire?
That's an Odyssey. It's an Odyssey. Honda Odyssey.
All right. Is that pretty accurate, Mark?
That is bang on. Yep.
God. All right. So I want to make sure and take this moment to remind everyone, and if you're a regular viewer of the show, you hear this every time, but if you're not, I want you to know that if you want to read all the news that we're reading, make sure and check us out online. Look for our online presence. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Leave us comments, send us messages, suggest stories, all that stuff. And if you use Flipboard as a news aggregator, be sure to subscribe to the What Drives Us magazine. Philip Barkley and I throw news stories in there. And I quite honestly, some of the stories that I talk about come right off our Flipboard page. You can also find us on Twitter. Russell, what are all the things that you?
Well, we're everywhere. We're at What Drives Us on Twitter. We're at What Drives Us on Facebook. We're What Drives Us Show on Instagram.
All right.
That's everywhere. I'm sorry. I know that's just 3 things. We're not on like Snapchat.
Ooh, are you doing TikTok yet? That is exactly what I expected.
I think none of us are 14.
I've been on Instagram all with the new car, with the Highlander hybrid, and I can't tell you how much I hate Instagram. It is the shittiest social media platform on the planet. Why? Well, why? Because it's Instagram and it's owned by Facebook. That's 2 big reasons, but it's horrible to use. I don't get it. Okay, I'm done.
I have a question for the Tesla guys. Can you get the Model 3 with the biohazard cabin filter?
No, you get something just below the biohazard. Yeah.
Because that could be Elon's argument that it's a safety vessel for pandemic.
Well, that is the only factory for the S and the X, and that's what they make them at. They all have the bioweapons now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a medical device. If you buy
it's a medical device.
Yeah.
Keep your family
$100,000 medical device. Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to get the Performance Plus with the 22s and the special paint. You can get it for $80.
Sure you do.
Filter's better if it goes.
Don't be silly, Casey. Don't be silly.
Instead of sheltering at home, you shelter.
If you're going to shelter at home, do it in style.
Yeah.
If you're going to shelter at home, do it in your garage.
In your Tesla.
Yes. That half second quicker in the 0 to 60 time could mean the difference in your life.
That's right.
You can outrun those particles.
It can't catch you.
All right. So one thing that we've talked about regularly on the show is what is transportation going to look like after? What's the new post-COVID going to be. And Georgia has been looking at airlines.
And I can pretty much tell you, good Lord, what are we going to do? Now, one of the cool things that I found, and you're going to read that in the Forbes article, is some of the new proposed methods of making it safer. But I will also say that after collecting these 3 articles about sanitization of the airport and new methods of flying, the other thing I saw a few days later was some CEOs saying that basically we shouldn't have to force people to wear masks in a plane. Now, we just got done talking about church in an enclosed environment, and y'all know how big a church can be.
Much bigger than an airplane.
Talking about a tuna can, a flying tuna can, where we think we're going to get in there and not have to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We now asteroid. So
I mean, look at the cruise ships, right? They're huge, and they're like incubators for disease.
And they are opening up.
Yeah.
Like nobody remembers the Corona cruise that was trapped in, I think, Southern California because nobody could disembark because they were infected with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get on to the proposed recommendations by Simply Flying. All right, touchless cabins and check-in terminals. Now I can get down with that, but basically, you grab your phone, you check in. Now I've been using my phone for e-passage for flying for the past couple of years since I took a job that required me to travel more for conventions. I love it. I'm down with not touching anything because Lord knows I don't want to touch anything that anybody else is touching because I've seen humans. Now, but can we really get people to use technology this way? I'm not sure. For me, when I was flying, and that was when everybody else was flying, more people actually had to go on ahead, go to the ticket counter, check their bags, everything else, and they were constantly confused, and they had it on their phone and still were trying to fumble through it. They didn't know how to just put the Scantron right up against it. Come on, we're talking about a population that is still struggling with running their debit card.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So I don't know.
The side with the chip goes in the machine first.
Yes, which side? Slide? I don't know. Or what's my? Okay.
But even if I mean, okay. So pardon me for just interrupting, but even for just scanning for the ticket, I mean, whether it's paper or phone, if you print it out at home, or even if you go to the kiosk and you have to touch the screen, it gives you a piece of paper and you just put the thing down. I mean, that can be more or less safe in its own way.
Sure. But there are two things that are boundless: space and idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have really calculated the true depths and expansive widths of human idiocy. So let's go to the in-flight janitors. And I thought this was interesting because not just having, an occasional air marshal on a plane, but having an actual janitorial staff that is responsible for cleaning stuff up.
The air marshals are going to be cross-trained to do both roles.
I can just see the remake of Passenger 57 right now. There's going to be an epic mop fight with sanitizer.
Yes, that'll be awesome. I gotta wonder though. It just says expect janitors on board planes whose only job is to make sure the cabin is kept clean throughout the flight. I don't remember seeing huge trash spills on the numerous flights that I've taken.
And if somebody in the seat, you can't go squirt it and wipe it down.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Just spray the people?
There's no way I'm getting on a plane anytime in the near future.
No, they're going to inject Lysol into the cabin air system because that will
inject the passengers with Lysol and UV light.
Yeah, I believe that was Trump Air is going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trump Air.
I'm so thankful that's gone. And the other aspect of it is handling people's bags. So you and your filthy bags. So they're talking about UV, disinfecting the bags, and all that kind of stuff.
Good,
Having you pass through a disinfection tunnel. Look, everything they talk about right there is so experimental. Part of the issue of shining a light inside your body, according to, oh God,
a deadly light inside of your body.
No.
But think about how many people actually wash their luggage. So I mean, that part is a great idea.
There's to
some extent.
This is such bullshit.
Now, let's get to this. Now, I'm sorry.
Wait, there's more?
There's
I'm
more.
my head off at this because nothing here sounds realistic, and this is the best they've come up with. I also took a look at the Aero plans where Latitude Aero and the CEO is talking about sanitization, and I thought he raised some pretty good points because much like the way how we're trying to sanitize things like the keypads when we go into the grocery store to pay for our stuff, and people have to sanitize electronics, if you're using the wrong sanitizer, you are actually possibly stripping valuable things like the oils that lubricate gears and all kinds of things that insulate it and speeding up oxidization. So that could speed up the need for more repair. And aren't we currently struggling with an administration that thinks, hey, why are we bothering these innocent companies with things like oversight and inspection? So much like pork, I think maybe we should all consider long driving trips or individual
well, it has been infrastructure week.
Sailboats. Now, I personally am ready to buy a sailboat because my friends in Iceland are just like, you should have just moved here. And I'm starting to think I was turned off by the ice and the cold, but the sanity is really attractive to me.
The sanity offsets the cold.
So let me get this straight, Georgia. You've read through these articles about airlines and what their procedures are going to be, and after reading it, you've decided to buy a sailboat.
Exactly.
Or get into really good shape by swimming. But something.
Wow.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that they're at least working on it. I've looked through even some of the other. I mean, these are the three I picked that I thought were most directly relevant and tied together, because there's a whole lot of other stuff that the Chinese airlines are doing head to toe PPE. And I may have made a certain full body condom joke.
You did.
But it's accurate. Let's be honest here. This virus causes so much biological disruption to the human body that getting it could lead you, even if you survive it, could lead to lifelong biological changes. People want convenience.
The United States
military
military.
Suck the hell up and wear a full-on hazmat suit to go fly. And the sooner somebody in power says, "Hey, suck it up, you're just gonna have to wear a fucking hazmat suit," we might actually start doing something that's worth talking about.
Keep in mind, the U.S. military has officially stated that COVID-19 exposure disqualifies you for service.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not the flu. It's not a cold. You might be asymptomatic and go through it with no problems, and you might be on dialysis for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hey, it's just take a chance.
And this from the U.S. military, who just a few years ago lowered their standards. Hey, you know what? That whole thing about having to have graduated high school to qualify, just we'll just sweep that under the rug.
Not being affiliated with neo-Nazi groups? Oh, come on. Everybody needs a hobby.
Yeah, that's right, a hobby.
Hey, they already got the haircut. Come on.
But, okay, so you mentioned the Latitude article and the guy from, Latitude Arrows. And so this is actually very interesting. You touched on this, but one of the things that he brings out is you see these advertisements or these videos of the airline companies saying, look, we're doing such a great job. We're fogging the cabins between flights, and this is such a great thing.
Nope.
Those of us who don't know any better praise them for their efforts.
Yep.
But this guy says, first of all, the fog doesn't get everywhere.
Nope.
So you're not really doing a very good job of cleaning. And secondly, the chemicals in the fogging stuff that you're using actually deteriorates the materials in the cabin.
Think about deteriorated sealant gasket, the gaskets. The gaskets. I can't talk. Think about how you could deteriorate the sealing gaskets around the windows with the fog.
Or
just
the
say space shuttle
airframe.
O-ring, and I think everybody will understand.
Yes. I mean, and he talks about how you need to just take the freaking time and clean it. And if you look at the Latitude Aero discussion article on at the apex.aero, where they, and also in the Forbes article where they talk about the time to turn around an airplane. So that means instead of being able to rush out 10 to 15 flights a day, they might be only able to get out 8 because they need to take 2 hours to do a detailed cleaning. And
airplanes don't make money when they're on the ground.
No, they do not. And not just that, I mean, my town is small and it's a college town. And frankly, I have not seen any craziness in all the shutdown. And we've been shut down since March. And today it was just like, holy shit, everybody's losing their mind. Because I had to go to a couple of stores and I was just watching this. And I was like, what the heck? People are impatient. People are not able to handle not getting what they want because our society has a rapid turnaround. We do things faster now. Like I'm impatient when my machine takes a minute to warm up because, something, Microsoft Windows update, something takes 30 seconds to load and I'm pissed off. And then I think about it. I'm like, girl, you started off in Adobe Photoshop 2.5. You know what a real wait time is. You remember dialing up and having to download something for 3 hours. So
Farm remembers.
Yeah, ancient here. But so we are so used to fast, and we are not handling the fact that we cannot get what we want, when we want it, how we want it, as fast as humanly possible. So this is going to be an interesting month.
Yeah, and you're right. Airfare is going to be hugely impacted. The very fundamental aspect of how the planes are turned around and how many flights, like you said, go out, and then the number of people who are going to be willing to sit on a 4 to 6 to 8 hour flight with a bunch of strangers who may or may not be asymptomatic.
Dressed in a full body condom.
And even for the risk takers, let's keep in mind there are tens of millions of people suddenly without medical insurance, suddenly without income. So come July, August, September, whenever this mythical airfare thing comes, when air travel begins again, who's going to be buying these tickets? Because I'm here to tell you, lots of people are going to have other things prioritized, like rent and mortgage and transportation and food, and maybe even staying alive. More so than seeing Great Aunt Sally in Lake Butthole, New York.
Plus, if it's still flying around, you don't need to go visit her. She's a vulnerable party.
Called Zoom.
I know. I'll tell you what. This has really changed the way businesses do business because right now I know my company. People are realizing, well, they didn't have to fly somewhere for a face-to-face. We're using Microsoft Teams. I don't know if I should be, saying that. It's, not Zoom, but we're deeply tied in with Microsoft. Yeah, Bill Gates has personally got to send me a 5-cent check. But yeah, you know what? Business goes on, and we're able to get a lot of business done. And we're using remote connections. We're using video conferencing, remote desktops, and whatever. And we're able to do work. And I think this is going to change a lot of business travel because I think there's going to be a lot less business travel.
Even in my auto repair business today, my software vendor came out with a feature that, let's say you have your car serviced I can send you a text link and you can pay your bill on your phone. And then we can, leave the key in your car and you can just come get your car. You don't have to come into the office and pay, which people did.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's great.
You're going to see a lot more of this contactless type transactional stuff going on. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
And so if anybody wants me to send them a link so they can click and send me money, I'm happy to do that.
Send Paul money.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to round out tonight's show. Samsung made a huge announcement. Let's see. This was in March 10th of 2020 from their press room. And the announcement is Samsung presents groundbreaking all-solid-state battery technology. So they're saying that they have a fully functioning solid-state battery that they feel with a little more work will be able to not only compete with but exceed the current standards of the lithium-ion battery that we have now. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, but Tony, how did they fix the dendrite problem? Because as we know, one of the biggest issues with batteries, and especially solid-state batteries, are the dendrites. So what happens is, as hold on, I gotta see myself. So what we know is we have two anodes, right? And so the lithium-ion, they come over here, and then they retract when you charge the battery, and then they come back and they go. The problem is these dendrites start growing on the anode side, and so they don't quite make as good a connection, and the battery deteriorates. Thank you for so what they decided, or I don't know, what they found was they used a
I heard if they injected with COVID-19, it stopped.
They did. The COVID-19 actually killed the dendrites. Now, the scientist had a stroke, but that was besides. Only 2 of the 49 scientists died, so it was considered a good.
Oh man, we are so off the rails.
See, this is why I don't do improv. Someone always has to die. Okay, so anyway, what they did was they used a silver carbon composite layer on the anode, and this kept the dendrites at bay. So they were able to create a
Hang on, doesn't Head and Shoulders kill dendrites?
No.
We have stalactites, stalagmites, and dendrites, I think, or somewhere in there. I get my science confused. But the very thin coating of this silver carbon was enough to keep the dendrites at bay, that they say that their battery has a life cycle of 1,000 charges, which I did look it up, and lithium-ion batteries are rated between 600 and 1,200, depending on the application. So this is in the higher end of the current lithium-ion battery life cycle. And they say that if they were to put this battery into an EV, it would get up to 800 kilometers on a single charge, which, or is that like 650 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And so they're saying, now this isn't released, this is still a prototype, but they're confident enough that they've made the announcement and they're telling people about it. They're saying that they can get the same density, energy density of lithium-ion battery in approximately half of the size, which means we could have lighter cars. And as we know with electric vehicles, the weight is a huge issue. Or we could have the same size battery with double the range. So this could be a huge stepping off point in the advancement of batteries, not only for small things like cellular phones that last for 3-4 days at a time, but electric vehicles that can travel 650, 700, 800 miles on a charge.
As I've said many times before, this is all really cool, but until you can buy it in the showroom, it doesn't matter.
I know, but and I believe that when other when some companies make a statement and they're making a statement just to make news, but I want to believe that if Samsung is going out there and saying that they have something, that they're not blowing smoke. Their reputation is on the line as far as what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, Samsung, the company that made the exploding cell phone, the company that made the folding phone with the screen that didn't fold.
Right, but the battery worked.
Yeah.
Until it exploded.
It
Yeah,
exploded.
the battery did work.
And it was banned on aircraft.
Yeah,
Conversion
otherwise,
is 500 miles. 800
Okay.
kilometers is 500 miles.
Okay. So okay.
Well,
I
I
welcome
would
all
love
these
to
things.
see these in smaller personal vehicles, something like the smart car, but not with gas, because I was really disappointed that the smart cars were gas cars and not electrical, because we don't necessarily need to all be in like a 4 or 5 seater vehicle for short commutes. It would be perfectly fine, especially since the new COVID reality is you're not supposed to be taking your whole damn family. It's not an outing to go to this grocery store anymore. You really want to go in, get your groceries, and come back out. And it would be kind of cool if we could see some new vehicles that took advantage of the technology to be small, light, with storage space, that for a single person to go get their things and come back and not have a full-sized car to have to
Like
deal with.
a Fiat 500e.
Yeah, kind of like a Fiat, something along that lines, or
The old
maybe even
NEV
smaller.
concept
Yeah,
is what we're talking about. The neighborhood electric vehicle, the golf cart.
I got
in a
to
sense.
find like some of
safer
my
and
old
faster.
pictures of some of the electrical vehicles I've run into at various sustainability shows that were either concept cars or sometimes hobbyists who had built their own and really come up with some very cool ideas that nothing I've really seen coming out of big manufacturers has excited me as much as some of these hobbyist cars. So, but yeah, that would be kind of cool to see what they come up. If this is good and real and true, I would love to see some more exciting designs coming out that are individual personalized transport.
They had a
And
lot more
maybe-
details and facts and figures and techniques than most of these things we see come out. Like you were saying, that they're just trying to make flashy news. It seems like it might be just a few years off, or at least they think so.
And the fact that they came out and said this is silver carbon coating, and of course now that I'm sure LG and and Toyota and Tesla is like, wait a minute, what? So now they're so whether Samsung is brings it to market or it's somebody else, hopefully the secret sauce is out.
Mm.
Well, I think that's our show for tonight, for this week. Let's do some shout outs and go home. Paul, rumor has it you have a business.
Yes, I'm still at work. If you're in Colorado and have a hybrid or an EV, we fix those cars. Or if you want to buy a hybrid or EV, we sell those cars. Check us out at boulderhc.com or boulderh.com.
Got any specials this week?
Got a couple bolts. Got some new stuff's not on the website yet, so check back next week.
Bolt with a B?
Bolt with a B.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are you fully moved now?
Fully moved, not quite 100% unpacked.
Yeah. Yes. Hopefully you
Moving's
won't be
never
like
fun.
5 years from now you find that box in the garage that was never opened. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I
All
hate
right.
that.
All right. Georgia, any shout outs?
Shout out to What Drives Us viewers who like and subscribe to us. And also to all of our essential workers, because I am so sorry some of us are jackasses. You're doing a fantastic job, and stay safe out there.
Yeah. All right. Casey, what do you got?
Like I said, I got a new video out at youtube.com/Casey Green. That's KACEYGREEN. I've got a little tutorial video coming out probably this weekend, as well as whenever Tesla hits me with the new update, that one will be up as well.
All right.
Awesome.
Great. And Mark, of course, up north.
Just a shout out to the Waterloo Region EVA, REVA for short. And if you're watching this video now and you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us with YouTube. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe. It's free already. Come on.
Yeah, you
well
wanna,
said.
You want to make sure and subscribe now, because starting next week, YouTube will charge you. So click that subscribe button today.
Tony.
I don't remember if I read that somewhere or just made it up. Either way, make sure and subscribe to the channel. All right, Russell, bring us home.
Thank you. As always, thanks to Michael Manring for his amazing theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. Buy his brand new album, Small Moments, at any of your favorite music streaming sites. Of course, you can listen to it for free as well, but buy it. What the heck? Otherwise, that's it. I've got a review of the new Highlander Hybrid coming out. I'm working on it this week. You can check it out on Instagram. It's What Drives a Show on Instagram, which is horrible. Or you can follow me on Twitter or check on Facebook. I've been posting videos and stills from my travails with the Highlander Hybrid.
So Russell,
Yes, sir.
the new generation Highlander Hybrid, it gets like over 30 mpg, right?
I went to the desert yesterday.
In a car with no name.
Excuse me, Monday. This is a big car. This is not a light car.
7-seater.
82 miles between here and my destination, up a 5,000-foot chain of mountains,
Nice.
down the other side, 35.2 mpg.
Wow.
35.2.
In a big, huge Normomobile. I mean, I don't know how Toyota gets away with calling it a midsize, but it's yeah. It drives really well too, I have to say, for a big car with big, huge tires. It doesn't. You don't. It's not like getting in the Tundra. You're like, holy shit, this is the biggest thing I've ever navigated. You know.
Tundra is monstrously large.
The Tundra is huge. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, Paul.
Look forward to seeing your review.
Thank you, sir. It's very nice of you to say that. And that's all I got. So I'm going to hand it back to Tony Schaefer.
So as always, I'm thanking all of you guys. Thank you, Mark and Georgia and Paul and Casey, and of course my co-host Russell for sticking it out for the last hour. Thanks, of course, to Michael Manring for the theme music. Visit him at manthing.com and all that stuff that Russell already said. And that's all we got for this week. Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, save lives, take care of everybody, support local businesses, and make sure and tune in and download us next week to find out what drives us. I got some easy keepers from pipes. Ooh, I disappeared.
Oh, yeah.